Enter the crib. Your strike back sit rep starts in 3, 2, 1. Wait, do we go on 0?
All right, guys, welcome back. We are excited. We are picking up. Strike back is officially over for now, we hope. So
Stop
we are going to be talking about.
Kelsey.
I haven't stopped crying, but it's more because the world is on fire. But anyways, we are talking about the new Cinemax show Trackers, a South African show that is super complicated so far. It has some strike backy feelings. You have a security intelligence unit, fucking rhinos somehow. No, it's complicated, but it's interesting. So we are here to talk to you about that. I'm Kelsey.
And I'm Deb. We're a little rusty here, folks. We haven't actually seen each other for over a month, I think. But
yeah.
wow,
It's been
a very long month.
We hope you're all safe and at home, or not at home, but safe, healthy.
Engaged.
Trackers.
Engaged in the world.
Yeah. Trackers. What did you think, Deb? Of the first
episode. Well, I didn't realize when I started watching it that it's only 6 episodes, and we're like 10 minutes into it. I'm thinking, oh my god, I need to start taking notes. There's so many people coming at me right now. And then when I realized it was only 6 episodes, I'm like, okay, that explains that a little. They're trying to get so much in. But yeah, I enjoyed it. There's a lot going on in just the first episode. And I'm serious, I had to start taking notes because these people are coming at you so quickly. And trying to figure out who people are, and is this really sort of a lead character or is it not? Or wait, another baddie? Okay. Who are these people? So I admit I've watched it now 4 times and I'm feeling a little more on top of it. But yeah, that was a packed first episode.
Yeah, well, between that and then them using frankly different languages
Afrikaans,
and stuff like that, where you're having to read, the subtitles. It is not one. If you have not watched it, do not play on your cell phone while you're watching a show. You will miss something or not understand what they're talking about.
But I wrote that down as a positive for the show, that I'm really, and we're getting so many more shows like that sort of interweave different languages, and we're getting so many more shows where they're using multiple languages, which is how the real world is.
Yeah.
And it doesn't allow you to be a lazy watcher, because I'm definitely somebody that, I'll put something on and then go do something else because I can get enough listening. And this forces me to pay much more attention because I don't know what they're saying in Afrikaans. So I need to be watching it.
Yeah.
And that's really the bonus of having so much more international television available to us now, and being able to, open our eyes to what's going on in the rest of the world. And I so appreciate that. And, we got it with Warrior,
where they would go between,
which was just used in such a
beautifully done.
Exactly. And how awesome was that in the little lead-in to last night's first show? We got little snippets of season 2 of Warrior. I was so excited.
We are ready. Oh my god.
Wait till October. Oh, Warrior cast, we miss you.
Yeah. No, I agree. I am curious. But that is interesting because I've always thought of Afrikaans as, I mean, it's like the heavily white language in South Africa. But I know during the interrogation scene at the beginning, where you have the informant say to Nina, Sandy Stolch's character, oh, now you're talking like a white person, and they switch languages, and I was like, are they switching? Is there another language? Because I'm surprised that they would consider English to be the white language and Afrikaans to not be. That seems strange to me.
Yeah.
Or if that's another language that I just don't know of. So if you are listening and you know the answer there, please tag us and tell us, because I was like, I'm confused about the way that
Yeah.
was.
I found myself.
And maybe we'll ask when we interview
Yeah,
somebody.
exactly. And we do have interviews lined up, so woo!
Yes.
But I found myself jotting down notes frequently throughout this, saying, seriously need to educate myself on this. need to look this up, need to find out what's going on with this, that, which again is a bonus for me. Like, whoa, man, I don't know anything about this. I need to be doing some research. So and another reason I'm looking forward to the interviews, because man, do I have questions.
Yeah. I know, right? Yeah, exactly. I'm looking forward to it. So some of the stuff that we had kind of talked about as we were talking in the lead up to actually recording this feels more realistic than our beloved Strike Back. I wrote down, one of the notes was like that the crib looks real. It's all like their crib is just
offices,
like office cubicles and like file cabinets and like brown file boxes and shit. And I was like, yeah, that's way more accurate than like the high tech whatever shit that like we see on every other show where you have like an intelligence agency, which was great. I think it's very complicated.
Yes.
And it will be interesting to see how they weave all of this shit together. I mean, it's like a lot of storylines, and I hope, I'm intrigued if some of it will get dropped though, because like you have Mila, the researcher, whose husband
an
is
abusive
like,
husband.
I mean, an abusive husband who is not letting her see her son. She gets this job, and I'm like, are we gonna see? That seems like an interesting thing to put in there if we're not going to see some kind of resolution there. But how do you resolve that in 6 episodes when you also have like terrorists and apparently rhino smuggling? Which are they like saving the rhino, or are they poaching I was really confused by that. That was my what the fuck moment when they pull out and they like rhinos. I was like, nope, no, I don't expect it. Not even like the slightest.
Oh, funny, because my what the fuck moment was, seriously, this woman who hasn't worked ever just got a job with not even getting through the whole interview, just got a job as a researcher at basically what I'm perceiving as their CIA.
Yeah.
Come on.
Based on the question, can you keep a secret?
I'm going to go ahead and let my brain go. I thought, okay, please turn around and go back and further interview her. But no, she sort of walks away and just shows up, like, I've got that. Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah. They do it differently, apparently. And a super interesting cast, super diverse cast. It's great. So that was our what the fuck moments. Did you have a favorite fight? I didn't. I had like I thought was gonna be when at the beginning of Lemmer, James Gracie's character like almost kicked those bikers' ass.
Yeah.
The guy who's basically like a Wyatt Scott-ish character to me so far. But then he didn't fight. So.
He's kind of like a Wyatt Scott who never says anything and has no sense of humor.
Right. It's like very menacing.
But we find out that he obviously used to be a part of this PBI.
Yeah. Do you think it's used to be, or do you think he's undercover? Because I was curious if he's like burned out and left, or if he's like was trying to get undercover and whatever this rhino thing is. I don't know.
That would be a WTF for me if that turns out to be what it is, because he clearly, something happened. Obviously somebody screwed up. We know that Quinn was a part of that, and it involved Lemmer. So there's some dynamic between Quinn and Lemmer, and some big massive drop the ball moment, and Lemmer left. Or I mean, I didn't get the impression he was fired, but that he left.
Yeah.
And there's clearly something going on with Boss Lady. Like they really tried to set a tone that perhaps we had yet another baddie boss lady, but then I
Yeah, that's
stopped sort of
something,
following that feeling with
Yeah.
her.
It's complicated. She seems like she's trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope that we get to interview her.
Yes.
That's one of the ones we're trying for. The guy who plays Quinn, and I hope I don't murder. I'm gonna murder his name. Thapolo Mokoena is really good, very handsome. And I'm not sure I could interview him without blushing.
Did we find Kelsey's Hottie McHottie pants?
Oh no, he's very handsome.
Yes,
There's nobody on here that struck me as like a. I mean, Joe Taslim is his own thing, so.
October, Kelsey,
yeah.
you can make it till October.
I know, right? Yeah. Okay. So sorry, we were talking about favorite fight. Neither of us have one. I think. This is what it's boiling down to, because we're like we're just circling.
And it's funny because like that opening scene with Lemmer, I think because we're so used to Strike Back just always going there, that we're waiting for the violence to kick in. We're like, okay, now he's gonna kick their ass. Oh no, okay. Or now they're gonna come back and kick his ass. No, it just ended like it probably would in real life. But what this show does do is just keeps that sort of tension going, where you're expecting more violence than what we get, and we're expecting more fights, and we're expecting, so I'm thinking, okay, they're intentionally just drawing out this tension, which I think we've seen over the last week or so tends to quickly explode into violence. And yet this is being really drawn out. So are we going to get more episode 4, 5, 6? Is all of that going to start coming to a real violent head? Which honestly would be, I mean, not that I'm saying, hey, I want violence. I'm just saying, what's the because this is they're really just jumping from moments of building tension throughout the whole thing. So where's it heading?
This was very, as you said, like very much plot heavy. We want to introduce you to a million people and a million little plots, and we're going to draw them all together. I hope that it fulfills that. If it does, I think it'll be phenomenal. If it doesn't, it's going to be like, all of that for what?
Right.
So,
and this is based on a novel by one of South Africa's leading fiction writers, excuse me. In fact, I think, like seriously prolific fiction writer and successful, and who's done a lot of television and movies and books. So he clearly has a track record of paying off. So I'm hoping that we get that when it's been, translated into a television script. And this show was the South African network who produced this was their leading show for the year. So like huge hit.
Okay.
So I'm thinking that
that'll be the big payoff. Okay, cool. Well, I'm just hoping it's not like any of y'all watch Devs, which is like great until the last episode, and then it's like, wah, wah.
Like, really? Come on.
God, it was so good, and then just didn't pay off.
Not at all.
Just didn't.
It just was like such a predictable. So if you do watch Devs, watch everything but the last episode.
Yeah, just let it linger in your mind. Your imagination will be far better than what the ending actually is. So, okay, so emotional moment. I don't know. You?
Yeah, nothing like I said, for me, it was more just how much tension they put out there. So it wasn't necessarily the emotions on screen, but I was starting to get like, come on, like it was making me really tense. And not in that sort of slasher movie tense, but where you're just like waiting for something awful, but just like, there's something going on here, and I need to know what it is. Is it really 58 different things that were being thrown out right now, or is there one big connecting story? And why does the minister want to shut this whole unit down? Are they getting too close, and who are they getting to? And
What the fuck does a rhino have to do with terrorism? I'm still so confused by the rhino. Oh, which I will say, so my favorite emotional moment was simply like, so Lauren's the like happy
Oh,
go
yeah.
lucky
I
truck
loved
driver
him.
who's like adorable and just like trying to talk to Limmer, and he's like fucking shuts him down, and he's just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna continue being like just like the nicest, happiest guy, and I'm like, you're gonna die. 'Cause, like that's just
Like,
if this is anything like Strike Back,
he's a
even the slightest, you're dead. Which sucks because like I actually really liked him. So I like the moments between them just because it was so like
real.
it just felt like a and it felt like a moment sort of popped off the screen compared to the rest
like
of it.
here's this guy who's just
good.
like, I want to make a buck. I'm doing this for a family member. And come on, you know, like lighten up, dude. Just talk to me. And yeah, he's so nervous. And my favorite line was those shorts getting a little tighter there. What? What?
Yeah.
It's funny.
So cute.
That I do love. I mean, like Lemmer says nothing, but every once in a while just comes out with the best line. So to break that tension. But oh god. But yeah, I wrote it after like, I don't know, 5 or 6 lines out of 4 Laurens. I'm like, oh, dead man walking.
Yeah. That's exactly. Oh, Strike Back has conditioned us well. It'll be interesting to see if this breaks that pattern. But so that's Trackers.
Yeah.
Predictions for the future. I don't know.
Yeah, like
hopefully the unit like doesn't get fired and can find the terrorists before it happens.
Or maybe they do all get fired and they just decide to figure it out on their own.
Do it anyways.
Because I'm looking at those previews. Obviously, something's going to happen. You know, we got the hint dropped that they're expecting something awful to happen at the USA South Africa match,
right?
At the National Stadium. So, and then we see, you know, a picture of that, and I thought I heard someone say "dirty bomb."
Somebody did mention when they were like, "What would they be doing?" Yeah.
So, you know, there's like they're putting out a lot of hints in the trailers and the previews and stuff. And oh my god, I mean, could there be any more information in this first episode?
Yeah, it's a lot to wade through. Yeah. It's definitely one you should probably watch twice just to like pick up on some of the connections and stuff, because I definitely like the second time I went back was like, oh, that's who that is.
There are so many characters thrown at you in this first episode that you really, I'm not kidding, I had to start taking notes the second time I watched it. Oh, okay, that's the name that goes with him. And you know, I found myself checking IMDb to see if I could find, wait a minute, who is that? So
yeah, I had a few of those. So
okay, all right, all right, I get that now. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to some of the characters that are coming at us in future episodes, and I think we've got some kick-ass performances coming up. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's confusing, but confusing in a way that like you want to know what's happening, not confusing in a way that's like, this is like too much and I'm gonna stop watching.
Yeah, it definitely keeps you wanting more. And I mean, you can't deny that just the physical setting of it I mean,
gorgeous. Yeah.
It feels kind of, it's like, oh, we're going back to South Africa, and it gets to play South Africa. Like, we're getting where we are is where we are instead of having to be 150 different countries.
Yeah, different locations.
And it's cool. It was so funny at one point. Oh, I guess that's in a future episode. Sorry.
It feels familiar in a new way, I guess, if that's the way to, it's interesting. So, all right, guys. Well, that is it for episode 1. We are going to have at least a couple of interviews for future episodes. So we are just in the middle of trying to organize those. As everybody knows, the world is crazy right now. So yeah, we look forward to that. But check out Trackers. Let us know what you thought.
Friday nights at 10 on Cinemax.
Thanks, and tune in next week for another Need to Know session at the Crib. Follow us on Twitter at Strike Back Crib. Out.